Welcome viewers back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio, that is I, where no God is required for a life of love, joy, peace, fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in life. And the good life is one guided by reason and motivated by love. Just returned home from the great northwestern part of the United States. Christine and I and her son went up to Spokane, Washington, and enjoyed the beautiful, cool 70-degree weather in the summertime. What a beautiful time we had. Also got to wear my "This is what an atheist looks like" t-shirt as I overtly and boldly proclaim an out of the closet atheist, secularist, and humanist. Interesting to know that many people approach me. I got all kinds of remarks and replies and opinions from different people. Was even approached by a group of missionary females about to board a ship or a plane to the ship off to Africa to proclaim Christianity. I had a good time talking with them. Now, there's a time for deconstruction. There's a time to tear down, but there's also a time to offer an alternative, to offer people something greener on the other side of the fence. I would like to begin a series of teaching on a healthy alternative to religion and to supernatural belief systems. I, in my previous episodes, and many other fellow secular humanist atheists who are activists, we find it very enjoyable to deconstruct religion, Christianity. It's a very easy thing to do, but we must go a step further. We must proclaim and speak and promulgate and tell other people that there is a healthy, respectable, kind, loving, compassionate way to live and a belief system, a philosophy outside of ancient mythologies, religion, and other belief systems. And that's what we will be discussing in the next 3 episodes. Today, a healthy alternative to religion, atheism / secular humanism. Number 1, I will explain very briefly what the difference is of atheism and humanism. My objective of my show, and as I've discussed as a former Christian evangelist and preacher, the last 20 to 25 years as I've had dialogue with Christians, I've come to know and understand that most Christians and most religious people are ignorant, didn't say stupid, ignorant, unknowing of facts and data concerning a polar opposite worldview, which is secular humanism. Dan Rather, years ago, stated, the very famous news broadcaster, giving a tidbit of wisdom to all of his viewers on national TV. I'll never forget this. He said, "You must believe in something. Without belief in something, you are nothing." I don't know if I totally agree with that, but I get the drift of what he was saying. So many times, religious people will tell me, "What do you believe in, David? How can you believe in nothing?" Well, that's erroneous. The fact is, my atheism is nothing more, nothing less than a lack of belief in a God. It's without belief in a God or the supernatural. That's it. It's lacking belief. What do I do, and what do others do with our lack of belief in a God? The belief system is secular humanism. I will preach secular humanism and offer this to those of you on the fringe of religion and ready to let go of this, but you don't know where to go. Well, your belief system could be a healthy, progressive belief system called secular humanism. What is secular humanism, and how does it benefit all? Number 1, secular humanism is a philosophy, a belief system, which values reason, not faith. The old battle between faith and reason. Faith is not an arbiter of truth. Faith is not a way to determine what is true or false. Faith is simply believing things that are not true. Whereas reason, using critical thinking, determining a truth from a falsity. So we, as secular humanists, value our mind, the enlightened human mind, over faith and blind faith in the supernatural. Faith is not a tool for discerning truth. It's a tool for allowing people to accept falsehoods. It faith can be used for anything, and it faith can justify anything. Number 2, what is secular humanism? I like to say all the time when I talk to my Christian friends and others I'm trying to help, secular humanism / atheism is pro-human. I just got finished with a message a few weeks ago on how religion and Christianity, Islam and Judaism, these major fundamentalist type religions and monotheistic religions are anti-human. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. These are religions that are based on cynicism, on the mistrust of human nature. We're born in sin and we need to be fixed and repaired. While secular humanism says we are pro-human. We believe in the goodness of humanity. And if there are those unselfish genes and greedy genes that we all possess in the dual human nature, we learn to move toward unselfish caring of other people and giving to other people, plus taking care of the needs of ourselves. So it is a philosophy that is pro-human, unlike religion, that is anti-human, that requires a particular deity, a tenet of faith, a God in the sky to fix you and to make you good and moral. Number 3, what is secular humanism? It's a philosophy which recognizes the use of the scientific method, not tenets of faith. I've talked about this in one of my previous episodes. The scientific method is the best method we have so far in the year 2016 of determining a truth from a falsity. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the basics. Science tests things from every angle. Demonstrative evidence, empirical evidence, subject to verification through experimentation, observation, constant questioning, peer reviews, testing from every angle to determine if something is true or if it's a myth or false. So we as humanists value and recognize the use of the scientific method. Is it perfect? No. Is anything perfect? No. But it's the closest thing we have, the best thing we have right now to determine truth. Faith, again, not an arbitrary truth. The Bible clearly teaches that without faith, blind faith in God, it is impossible to please God. There will always be a battle between faith, blind faith in the supernatural, and natural reason and the enlightened human mind, which is called reason and using the scientific method. So we value the scientific method. Number 4, secular humanism works for freedom, it works for justice, and improve social conditions. Again, when I talk to Christians and religious people, they're very surprised to know that there are atheists out there, myself and many others, who have a belief system called secular humanism, which is goodness without God belief. We do work for justice and improve social conditions. I did a series of episodes a few months ago on the difference of countries and societies in the world that have a higher percentage of organic atheism versus religion. It's a very simple concept. The countries where they're more secular, crime rates are lower, murder rates are lower. The society seems to be a healthier society. That is called the Societal Health and Human Health Report and Index. Pure quantitative evidence. So we do work for freedom, improve social conditions, and justice. Number 5, what is secular humanism? Secular humanism is committed to the struggle for civil rights and liberties, bringing democracy to all. We promulgate and preach and tell people that there is a philosophy out there that's committed for those people that do not feel like they have equality, that need to move into civil rights and freedom and egalitarianism for all, and bring in democracy to all. Number 6, secular humanism is sensible to recognize that there is no evidence for a soul separate from the body or any belief in the supernatural. Yes, I am a very strong atheist, lacking belief in God, but my belief system and philosophy and worldview is secular humanism. There is no evidence for a soul outside the body. No matter how many times people tell me, I had a woman message me the other day again, David, I weep for you, I grieve for you. I get this all the time. I'm praying for you because if I believed like you in secular humanism and atheism, I would never see my son who was killed in a car accident a few years ago. Well, the hard, cold facts are there is no evidence for anything supernatural. There is no evidence for life beyond this life. There is no evidence for that. So we base our belief and unbelief on evidence. The mind and the body are one. The mind is neural activity of the brain. There's no such thing as mind or soul outside of brain activity until you can prove it. No scientific evidence under all kinds of testing and scrutiny has ever been shown that there is a soul outside of the body. And no, I and other secular humanist atheists do not have any belief in the supernatural. I was at a library, about a year ago, noticed a young man there with his King James Bible. And boy, do I love opportunities like this. As a former evangelist, I like to talk to people. And he was talking to a friend on the phone and encouraging this person to trust Jesus for all of his problems, that God would fix his problems. So I began to have some friendly dialogue with this young man and trying to help him to move ahead of these ancient myths and move into humanism. And it was really hard to break through him, but as I began to explain to him and give him an alternative and to give him my testimony, which I give to Christians all the time, that, hey, since I let go of belief in God, my life has never been better. I'm happier. I have more joy. I have more compassion, caring, sharing, and better relationships with others since I let go of God belief. It's very hard for Christians to hear that from people who had let go of religion. He couldn't get over the fact that I didn't believe in the devil. Twice he looked at me and said, so you believe in Satan? Because if you don't believe in God, you believe in the devil. And I know he was young. I know he wasn't listening to me very well. I put my hands on his shoulders, and I looked him in the eye. I said, dude, can't remember his name. I'll say dude. I said, dude, I've already told you I don't believe in the devil. I have a lack of belief in anything supernatural. This is what secular humanism and atheism is about. We value our lives. We progress without a God. Number 7, and I close with this. This is the one that it's under my hide quite often when I talk to Christians and Muslims, Hindus and Buddhists, and whoever believes in anything supernatural. Secular humanism is not a religion, and let's add atheism to that. A religion, by definition, is the service, the worship, and the belief in a God or the supernatural. Simple, rudimentary. It is not a religion. By definition, I am not submitting or committing servility to a supernatural deity. So it is not a religion. It is a philosophy, a pro-human philosophy of humanity. That's what it is. Well, I hope this has helped you to understand the very basic concepts of what secularism and humanism is. Remember this, if you're an atheist, if you lack belief in a God, and you do not know what to believe in, you do not know what to do now since you let go of superstitious, magical thinking, which is called religion, and you're thinking, what do I do with my life? Do I stay in nihilism? Do I stay in bitterness and anger? Why do I say that? Because I do run across fellow freethinkers out there. I ran across one at the airport the other day in our layover in Phoenix. He saw my t-shirt and he yelled out, "I like your t-shirt." I went to talk to him. He was an agnostic. He told me he was afraid to let go of belief in a God. He wants to remain in the middle. He wants to say, well, there might be a God because of fear of hell, because of fear of the repercussions of a vindictive God of retribution, which is clearly in the Bible. So I began to explain to him, there is no fear. You don't need to be afraid to let go. So there are many of you out there that are looking for a belief system to replace your supernatural belief system in church. I got a good one for you. It's called Secular Humanism. Now, can I compete with churches? Can I compete with the social constructs of churches? Can we compete with all they offer humanity? Well, maybe and maybe not. I'll get into those topics in the near future, beginning to give more alternatives to those of you that are ready to let go. So thank you so much for watching the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. And if you like this episode, if you like my teaching and my preaching of secular humanism and atheism, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel,